Good morning, everybody. I'm doing cups today, so I'll film it. This might be a long video depending on how it goes. I was asked a few weeks ago by someone else a couple of people who've got the same sort of issues I've got, being one-handed. So I might give some instructional stuff in here, sort of. It's not usually my thing, but if it helps someone out there, great. Anyway, I measure out my clay beforehand when I'm making mugs, anywhere between 450 and 550 grams. So it's nice and easy to centre one-handed. Now for those any non-potters watching this, wondering why do we do this coning up bit? Well, it's to make sure that the clay doesn't have any corkscrews in it. Brings it up evenly, and if you don't do it, it will come back to bite you in the ass. And a little problem bit there that I didn't take care of. Oh well. So, as a one-handed potter, when it comes to opening out, you're very reliant on the blade of your hand to support the outside. And then pull the thumb and move your hand at the same time. Slow the wheel down a little bit, give you a bit more control. Feel it starting to drag you a little bit. Now if when you're licking you've got a bit of a wobble and you really think you can't live with it, you can take the top off. And then bring up a bit more. Right, the next issue as a one-handed potter is getting it off the wheel. Now I stand at the wheel rather than sit, and when I bought my wheel I made sure I got a wheel that had a two-part tray. which for me is a must. So let's just tidy up the bottom. A bit long-winded, wasn't it? Always the same when I decide to film myself. Anyway, lots of water. Get the wire under it. And if you think it needs a bit more water or another wire, give it another one. 6-inch plywood bat soaked in water in a bucket. Using my hip. Hold it against the wheel and just slide off. I use plenty of water. I know some people say don't, but I do. Now, not all my cups are exactly the same as the one before it. They'll be similar, It helps if you weigh out your clay beforehand, because if the clay weighs all the same, then you're going to get similar sized cups. I use this just to tidy the bottoms up. There's probably a name for it, but I couldn't tell you what it is. It's a stick. Now you might find when you wire these off that you'll lose a bit of shape. It can be rectified, so it's not a disaster, shall we say, if it goes a bit out of true. It might not look it, but there's quite a bit of effort involved in centering the ball of clay. And also, because I'm left-handed, I have my wheel going the opposite way from what most potters will have. So my wheel is spinning, let me think, clockwise. Now I'm naturally right-handed, so sometimes I've really got to think about how I do things because I'm still thinking with a right-handed brain mentality. Which can make your life interesting. Now because these are only 400 or 500 grams, they fit nicely in the palm of your hand when you're squeezing it down. Basically, do whatever works for you. You know, I've watched countless videos of other potters on YouTube and stuff, and I know the techniques. As a one-handed potter, I can't really do them. So you've got to figure out your way. Probably should use a guide, but it's just something else for me to worry about. I will use a guide sometimes if I'm making bowls. I've got a laser that I use. Now the injury I've got is called a brachial plexus injury. It happened at a motorbike accident, along with numerous other injuries. The nerves were pulled from the spine, resulting in paralysis of my right arm, which is my predominant arm. So I've had to relearn lots of different things over the years. There's still lots I can't do, but pottery is something that I can do. It's something that gives me a lot of pleasure. It's also how I make my living, as modest as it is. And when you find something that you can do despite having a disability, you tend to want to do as much of it as you can. Now, before my accident, I used to do a lot of bass fishing. A bit of rock climbing now and again, a bit of kayaking, surfing, and a lot of that I just can't do anymore. And what you get is people saying, oh, I know such and such, they've only got to use one arm and they do blah blah blah, whatever it may be. Now that's great for them, but if you weren't interested in doing blah when you had two hands, you're not going to be that interested in doing blah just because you've got one that works. So I get that pottery might not be for everybody. But personally, I love it. And of course the other thing you've got to learn, it took me a while to get this, don't get too precious about what you make. Accept your limitations, obviously keep trying, but there will be things you can't do and that's fine. It's not the end of the world. Because it's easy to get disheartened. You see some of these really fantastic rock star potters making stuff and you think, I'll never be able to do that. And that's perfectly fine. Yeah, we can live with that. always tend to trim my pots as well, so you know, there are those out there who like the finished article to come off the wheel. I'm not one of those. I wish I could. Probably could if I tried, but it's the joy of making stuff. Oh yeah, the reason I stand at a wheel is I can put my body weight into centering the clay. I think if I was sat down, I don't think I'd be quite as strong. So I just grab a load of these, put them in a bucket of water. I think this clay still might be a bit too soft, so I'll start the video at this piece, let the clay dry out a bit. It's all rolled into balls sitting on the shelf, and come back to it later. But you know, basically the point of this is, if you've got a disability, or if you're a potter who's losing the strength in an arm, or you know, you've had an accident which has left you with the use of one arm. Hopefully what I'm conveying is it doesn't mean that your pottery career is over. I haven't got thousands of followers on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that. I haven't got the time to edit videos and do all that fancy schmancy stuff. But I do sell quite a lot of my pots, and I do make a very modest living out of it. I'm in Cornwall in the UK, so it's very seasonal. Winter time it dies off, so you've got your hope you're making up in the summer to get you through the winter. folks. I hope you've sort of enjoyed the video, got something from it maybe. I'll just give you a quick tour of what's going on in the studio today. So I've got the big kiln to unload in a couple of hours time. We've got a lot of bisque stuff waiting to be fired. We've got a lot of pots waiting to go to various outlets. I've got my balls of clay there waiting. We got that handmade thing which I'm just waiting to dry a bit, and then what we've been doing this morning. Any questions or any comments, feel free, and thanks for watching.